What's going on, fellow shiny hunters and enthusiasts? Welcome to the second installment of this challenge where I speedrun catching all the shiny starters available in the Indigo Disc DLC. This time, we are aiming to catch every shiny water starter in under 8 hours. I did 6 hours for the fire starters because collectively, I think they're easier to hunt. So that's why we have 8 hours this time. With the power of Herba Mystica and the shiny charm, that seems like a reasonable goal. Alright, let's get into it. My plan is to start off here by making a sandwich. I'm going to make one with Encounter Power and Sparkling Power Level 3 for water types. I started resetting the outbreaks, and just after a minute, we got a Froakie outbreak over in the coastal biome. Yeah, so that's who we'll hunt for first. Hopefully we can get off to a fast start. I've tried for shiny Froakie before, but haven't had any luck, so I'm due for a quick one this time. We've been here for a little over 15 minutes with nothing yet. It's time to lock it in and find a shiny. And that's exactly what I did, because about 5 minutes later, this happened. Oh, that one looks lighter. It's gotta be the shiny. Let's go!
That was easy.
Alright, not bad. First sandy in, under 30 minutes, so we are off to a pretty good start. I'm definitely using a luxury ball here because it matches so well with Greninja. Hey, we got the crit. So the first water starter is secured. Since we have a few minutes left on the sandy, I started resetting for outbreaks again, but it took me like 10 minutes to get this Oshawott outbreak. Unfortunately, it's in the water of a super laggy area. I didn't want to waste any more time searching for a different outbreak, but I probably should have. This area was just a little unbearable, plus all the Oshawott in the water kind of looks shiny, so with the lag and me getting shiny eyes, it was kind of difficult to stay focused over here.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And admittedly, I should have moved on from this spot quicker than I did, but I was being stubborn and stayed over here using 2 Academy specials. But good thing I did, right? Because we found a shiny. Well, not the one we needed. That's a shiny Hisuian Quillfish. It looks pretty good. Damn. But I really didn't want to see that one right now. Well, you know what they say, beggars can't be choosers. So we take whatever shiny we can get. After catching the shiny Quillfish, in a Premier Ball of course, I kept grinding for shiny Ashi. But like I mentioned, we should have cut our losses sooner because I finally accepted we need to change it up to get back on track. So a little after the 2-hour mark, we transitioned back to the coastal biome to hunt for Poplio, because we can isolate it on the beach that borders the savanna biome. With 7 shinies still to go and only 6 hours left, we need our luck to turn around in a hurry. And wouldn't you know it, our luck did exactly that. It took us less than 5 minutes to find shiny Poplio. Oh, let's go!
You can't keep getting away with it!
We were due for a quick hunt after spending a good chunk of time over at the Ashi outbreak. This one feels pretty good. Honestly, we needed a little bit of a morale boost, and I still believe we can do this. It took me a handful of minutes to catch Poplio in a heal ball. After it was secured, there was still 20 plus minutes left on the sandy. So I wanted to take advantage of that and go after another isolated hunt. We stayed in the coastal biome to go after the last water starter that spawns here, Mudkip. I know this starter is definitely a fan favorite, and it's up there for me too. They only spawn in this area called the Torchlit Labyrinth, which is an awesome name by the way, and very fitting. It took me a few minutes to figure out a good plan to see the most amount of Mudkips. I found a couple of good open spots that let me see a lot of them and transition back and forth quickly. Unfortunately, we didn't find one with the remaining sandy time, but I decided we were going to keep looking for Mudkip. So I went ahead and made another level 3 sandy, and we went straight back to the same strategy as before because I felt pretty good about it. And that paid off. Just under 10 minutes into the sandy, we got the shiny. Yo, look at that shiny Mudkip! It looks so good in pink. Let's go! Not only is this an S tier starter, but it's an S tier shiny as well. And if you don't agree with that, you know, that's fine. That's fine. But you're definitely wrong. And I may be wrong for this, because you are seeing that correct. I used a Master Ball here.
What?
Because I have like 30 in my bag, and I figured it would be funny to catch this one in a Master Ball. So maybe I'll give it away on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Now, this seems like a perfect time for a shameless self-promo. Be sure to follow me over there so you don't miss out on any shiny giveaways I do. Also, we are creeping up on 1,000 subs, so help a small channel out and hit that sub button. You can always take it back if you don't like my future content. Alright, back to the important shiny hunting stuff. Now that we have shiny Mudkip secured, I wanted to reset a few times to try and get another outbreak, and we actually got a Piplup outbreak on the first reset, and it appears to be at least halfway on land, which is all we could really ask for. But before we head over there, I wanted to get more use out of the remaining sandy time and head over to the savanna biome to try our luck with Sobble. We still had nearly 15 minutes left to try and find shiny Sobble, and you can isolate it pretty well right here in this large marsh area. It isn't incredibly difficult to spot, but sometimes you can't see its fin from certain angles. But unfortunately, we didn't have any luck over here for now, so after the sandy time expired, we went straight over to the Piplup outbreak. Thankfully, I was right. This outbreak was partially on land and we didn't have to really go in the water. We knocked out a few waves and started picnic resetting with no sparkling power active. And I started to feel like a shooter who was seeing some shots go in because just after 15 minutes over here, we got the shiny penguin. Oh, I spot a shiny Piplup! Let's get it! This is my first shiny Piplup. I know I mentioned S tier shinies earlier, but there's an S tier we did not discuss, and that's cuteness. And Piplup is absolutely up there. Going with a netball this time, and that's a crit. Now that Piplup is secured, we're gonna head back over to the savanna biome to finish the Sobble hunt. Sobble is the last water starter we can isolate, so I'm hoping for another quick hunt. We have half of the starters done and 4.5 hours remaining. So I'm hoping we can get Sobble, Squirtle, and that elusive otter by the 6-hour mark to give us a couple of hours for Totodile. This definitely appears to be the best part of the savanna biome to hunt for Sobble. I figured out pretty quickly where to transition back and forth for optimal Sobble spawns, and nearly 20 minutes into the sandy, we got it. So I'm not exactly sure what happened right here, but as you can see, there is a shiny Sobble that spawned in. However, at this exact moment, OBS stopped recording. Thankfully, I did record the encounter on my Switch, but there's no reaction. I didn't notice it stopped recording until after I caught it, but I did start recording again right away, and as you can see, I just caught the shiny Sobble on the same day. Once I sorted out the Sobble situation, I started resetting to get either a Squirtle outbreak or an Oshawott outbreak. We got the Oshie outbreak after a few resets, and it does seem like it's mostly on land, so I'm hoping we can find the shiny relatively fast. We've already spent the most time on this one with no results, but I still believe we can get them all in under 8 hours. I will admit this little otter is harder to spot than I remember. I feel like we have no chance at night if they're in the water. Sadly, our luck wasn't any better at this outbreak. If the shiny doesn't show soon, I may have to bump Oshie back to C tier for starter Pokemon.
Trash.
Over 40 minutes in with no shiny, so I decided to go with an Academy Special again, even though last time we found a random shiny. But this time was different. We found nothing at all, except for this little guy stuck in between the ice. Oh no, little buddy, you're stuck. Man, I really wish I could assist you in some way, but you're just out of luck. If you were shiny, I'd save you. Still with no shiny in sight, we kept on doing what all great shiny hunters do. We kept on hunting for that elusive, sparkling otter. I made another level 3 sandy just as we passed the 5-hour mark. Nearly halfway through the sandy, we did spot another shiny, but again, at an Oshawott outbreak, it was not the one we were looking for. Oh my gosh, that's a shiny horsey. This is the first time I've ever found one, and I was worried that I'd miss it. I didn't realize it was so obvious. I mean, I need one. I need the whole line, actually, but not what we were looking for. All right, let's quickly try and catch this shiny horsey and then move back to Oshawott. The dive ball is definitely the play here, and there's the crit. Let's get back to Oshawott. We are starting to run out of time though, especially with the Totodile hunt looming. I'll feel pretty good if we can somehow get Oshie and Squirtle by the 6-hour mark, because Totodile may very well take that long by himself with no outbreak. And by some miracle of Arceus, we got shiny Oshawott to spawn about 10 minutes after shiny horsey. Is that? It is! Shiny Oshawott, let's go! We are so back.
Finally!
We gotta go with the dive ball here once again, and there it is, with the crit. Now it's time to find a Squirtle outbreak, and with over 5 minutes left on the sandy, we shouldn't have any issues with that. Like, no issues at all, right? Wrong. Actually, I tried for the next 20 minutes resetting outbreaks. I even went over the canyon biome to see if that helped, but it certainly did not. This definitely brought down the morale a little bit for the challenge, so I decided to call it for the night. We started the next day with a new level 3 sandy. Thankfully this time we were able to find a Squirtle outbreak after a few minutes. It wasn't in the worst spot, but as I'm sure some of you know, Squirtle is similar to Oshawott in the sense that we can't completely isolate it, and there are other water types that spawn here. With just over 2 hours to find 2 shinies, I was still feeling pretty good even though Ashi took over 3 total hours alone. I tried to find the best strat while I was over here, and eventually it started raining, which made the lag a lot worse, so I ended up just staying on the bank and picnic resetting. As our sandy time approached triple zeros, I popped up one last picnic and then time expired. But it appears I hadn't actually realized it at the moment and went for another picnic before making our next sandy, and wouldn't you know it, we got our shiny Squirtle. Hey, let's go, there's our penultimate shiny for this run! Now let's hurry up and catch it and go get Totodile. I still believe we can do it, we're gonna need some luck, but hey, that's the name of the game with shiny hunting. Name a more iconic duo than me using a dive ball in this video. I'll wait. After the turtle was secured, I went straight over to the savannah to get started on Totodile right away. We basically have enough time remaining for 3 level 3 sandies, and we definitely need to use Herba for this shiny if we want any chance to beat 8 hours. Alright, so you've heard me say how difficult of a hunt Totodile can be, and if you don't know why, it's because they only spawn in these 2 little bodies of water. But that's not all. As you can see, there are 2 other water types that spawn here, way more frequently with the water encounter power active. We had no luck on the first sandy, and we are quickly approaching the 7-hour mark. To no one's surprise, it was pretty laggy in the water, especially when it was raining, so I started picnic resetting on different areas of the bank, but was only getting maybe 1 to 3 spawns at most, and if I was really lucky, a cluster of 4 or 5 would spawn. I ended up just sticking with this spot here because it seemed to give me the most frequent cluster spawns. For whatever reason that was, it was right here. But unfortunately, again, there was no shiny on the second sandy, and I decided to call it for the night to just reset the shiny mojo for the next day. Alright, here we are for the last sandy to try and successfully complete this challenge. Either way, I'm going to catch shiny Totodile, but will it be on this next sandy? When it comes to the shiny starter runs, I have some pretty insane luck, specifically when it comes down to Gen 2, because less than 10 minutes into the sandy, it happened. Oh, that's a shiny Totodile! Let's f***ing go! There's no way! Oh my Arceus, that's nuts. I don't know what to do. Okay, we have plenty of time. Let's catch it for starters. I love this shiny. The color overall is amazing, but the blue spikes on the back go crazy. Let's get one last shot of me using a dive ball to complete this run. Let's go! The last shiny has been secured. There was never a doubt, right? Yeah, never a doubt. Thanks a ton for watching. Seriously, I can't overstate how much it means, especially as a small channel. So if you somehow made it to this point in the video, make sure you hit subscribe with the bell on for future shiny hunts. Oh, and make sure you go follow me on Twitter. Remember how I said I might give away that Mudkip in a Master Ball? Yeah, I'm gonna do that over there after this video goes live. The link is in the description. Alright, peace out.